Taylor Saastad. I'm the lead crime victim advocate for Mason County for the Crime Victim Service Center. And my role is to work with all victims of crime except for domestic violence and sexual assault, and to guide them kind of to referrals or resources within the community that can aid them kind of during this time, as well as guide them through the law enforcement legal process, answer questions, kind of help explain terms and how things might look for the next year or so if something's being prosecuted, as well as kind of give civil avenues if someone wants to pursue something civilly or needs help doing an anti-harassment order, things like that.
It's pretty broad.
Yeah, very broad. It's very victim-centered, very much what the person kind of needs from us, and then if we're not able to help, connect them to a resource that might be able to.
Do they get referred to you, or they just come in?
Well, kind of both. So I work with the Shelton Police Department as well as the Sheriff's Office. So every day I get a copy of the dispatch log and I request the police reports that kind of fall under our criteria. You know, for example, burglary, assault, identity theft, things like that, upon more. But so I kind of request those, and once I get that information, if I don't always get the full victim information because of the RCW and the laws. So what I do get, I'm able to send out letters offering services. So through that, I'll get people that call and kind of have questions about what we do, as well as I'll get referrals from the statewide hotline, which is 24-hour. And then from the community as well, you know, I do outreach with other organizations, so sometimes I'll get referrals from those kind of workers or from other clients, kind of all, a big range. Yeah.
Okay. So you talked about burglary. I mean, it's just any victim from... Yeah.
So the big ones we have are property crime, personal or violent crimes, and then identity theft or fraud. So it's really, I mean, harassment to vehicular homicide or vehicular assault. A person doesn't have to report a crime to access our services. So if they don't feel comfortable reporting that to law enforcement, but they, you know, need help getting housing, or, you know, I can help refer them to that. So really, like I said, victim-centered within the capacity of what we're able to do. Yeah.
Can you give us an example of what you can do? I mean, what you're able to do. I don't want to be specific, but sure. pick a crime and let's go through the process of what somebody can do.
So say that someone was a victim of vehicular assault. So they were driving, someone was driving drunk or recklessly and hit them, and they're injured, and now there's going to be a kind of a trial. They're being prosecuted by the state. So I would reach out to that victim, really address their emotional kind of needs at the moment, ask them, you know, would you like to receive services? If they say yes, I offer to either attend court with them, answer questions, kind of work as a liaison between the prosecutor's office and themselves, as well as crime victims compensation is a statewide compensation for crime victims, so I can help them fill out reports and applications for that, as well as you know, offer kind of referrals to counseling or other necessities they might have as a kind of a result from the crime. And then they can read throughout the court case, working with the prosecutor and whatnot. It's sentencing, if the person, you know, changes his plea to guilty or is found guilty. It's really important for our organization to let the victim know their rights they have through the state. So reading a victim impact statement to the court is really powerful for a lot of victims. So I can either help assist in that way. Sometimes they don't want to read it directly, so I'll read it for them or help them file it for the judge. Does that give kind of a...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's really different from client to client, it seems like, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing this?
I actually was in Thurston County for about 8 months in the prosecutor's office there. I did my internship there, and then I recently got hired on here the very 1st of January, so I've been here about a little over 2 months, yeah.
So in your time doing this, what's, I don't know, call the worst thing that you've experienced?
I think some of just the kind of the length of the emotional process that victims go through in trying to heal, and oftentimes the re-victimization through kind of the process of prosecuting the suspect or defendant, just because it is a lengthy process. A lot of times things are backed up and there's a lot of cases, and it's not very speedy, for which victims wish it was a lot of the time. So that can be hard to kind of explain that in a way that's, truthful, but you want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Asking the victim to be patient can be really hard, I guess. But the cases really range. There's a lot of resilient people out there, so that always kind of, when I hear and read reports that can be a little bit, detailed and traumatizing, to talk to the person and understand their resilience and their courage and strength after, it's pretty amazing. So I enjoy it.
So it's kind of an odd question.
That's okay.
What is a typical day for you?
Ooh, okay, well, it depends, yeah. There's a lot. So usually I come in, I look at the dispatch log first because it's emailed like right after midnight. So I request those reports, check my messages. Sometimes I'll have voicemails. I always try to get to the clients first, so after I do my disclosure requests, because those can take a little while, so I try to get them in as early as possible. I will answer calls from victims if I have them, and then I have my files that are organized by date. So if there's court dates that day, kind of take those out, look them up online and see if they're up yet, notify those victims of changes. A lot of times it's continued for a while, which is what I was talking about. And then a lot of outreach to community right now, especially there was a full-time advocate for both Lewis and Mason, so she was doing both counties. And this last fiscal year, there was enough funding to hire a full-time for both. So I'm really trying to get out in the community and let people know we're here. So I've been doing a lot of meetings with law enforcement as well. But every day is really different. A lot of paperwork and a lot of calls to victims. So.
Okay. Do you have a background? What's your background, I guess?
Sure. I will be completing my bachelor's degree in social work in May. So I started that in 2013, and I'll get bachelor's in social work and psychology. I had a 4-month internship doing outreach with people experiencing homelessness in Tacoma. And then I started my internship with the Thurston County's Prosecutor's Office with the Crime Victims Advocacy Network. There's a lot of words in there. I started in May there and worked until December. And then through that connection, through Stanley Phillips, I was able to get this position here to kind of finish out my school career and take a break and hopefully go for a master's eventually.
So what led you to this field?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to help in communities some way. I really had a passion for people experiencing homelessness and just the kind of broad research around it as well. And I really got connected working at the Crime Victims Advocacy Network in Thurston County. I just heard it was a really interesting internship. I really liked the idea of learning about crime as well as how it affects people. And so once I just started, I really kind of took off and loved it. I loved the work and I loved the people. And so I'd love to get a master's in social work with a criminal justice focus or something kind of like that. But there's just, I think, not enough help, especially, there's just too many gaps, I guess, in my opinion, for people experiencing these kind of crimes.
I can't think of another thing to ask you. Is there something that you can think of?
I guess I just wanted to say that we are, get it out there that there is a 24-hour hotline for people that they can call. And then I'm here Monday through Friday, kind of weird hours, but I accept walk-ins if I'm here, and really just here to help and assist any way I can. So
what's the phone number?
Yeah, I have it here, 1-888-288-9221. So that's 24 hours for the whole state.
Now, if somebody is out there that doesn't want to talk to anybody and just kind of want to be anonymous at this point, is there a way to do that?
I know that if they call the hotline, they don't have to give their name. I'm not sure if the phone number or caller ID comes up, but they will give my information, my phone number, to the person if they want to call me directly. Yeah.
So it's not leave
Like
a
a full
number.
anonymous.
Yeah, they give the information to the person. The person decides to follow up.
Yeah.
They'll do so if they say, I don't.
Yeah, they don't have to once the information's given, definitely. And if at any point, a victim wants to stop accessing services, that's fine too, and we just kind of close their case and everything's free and confidential here.